Good afternoon, dear students. Today Mrs. Anne-Marie Singh, is here with the new poem, The Snake Trying, written by W. Ross. So the central idea of the poem is, snake is considered to be a dangerous and poisonous reptile. Hardly a few people might like the sight of a snake. The snake is very terrifying and chills down your spine. However, the idea projected to this poem is quite contradictory, means opposite to what people perceive of snakes. The poet in the poem has tried to show the snakes to be a victim itself. It causes no harm to anyone. Its intention of attack is only for self-defense. The poet here tries to convince the pursuer to allow it to escape because it was harmless even to the children. The poet has fallen into the beauty and charm of the snake, and he had appreciated the moves of the snake. So, let's start with the explanation of the poem. Stanza 1. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick, with sudden curvings of thin, long body. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes. In this stanza, the poet describes how a snake is trying to avoid the approaching stick with the elegant and non-linear moves of its body. The poet fell in beauty and charm of the snake, and he had also appreciated gracious moves of the snake. The poet is really amazed at the shape and graceful slithering, means gliding, of the snake. Stanza 2. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. In this stanza, the poet has described that the afraid snake is making its way into the water so that it can avoid the possible harm and go unhurt into the reeds. The poet requests not to cause any harm to the beautiful snake, which is harmless even to the children, and to allow it to go to its hide. Stanza 3. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away, and now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. The poet in this stanza says that the green snake was lying along the sand until it was observed by someone who started chasing it, but the snake moved fast and hid itself into the reeds. That's how it saved itself from the pursuer. The color of reed is also green. Now, the poetic device used in the poem, the first is imagery. You all know that imagery means to use figurative language to represent objects, a way that it appeals to our physical senses. Like in these two lines, to escape the pursuing stick with sudden curvings of thin long body. And the second is, he glides through the water away from the stroke. The rhyming scheme is, there is no rhyming scheme. The poet is in free verse. Now, the message of the poem is, of course, love is just natural and easy understandable. We must understand that it is a godly thing and should abide ourselves with it. The poet has shown his love and emotion for the snake in the poem, and this is a token of the fact that the ordinary human beings should also allow and show the same tendency. Love is eternal and universal. It can never be ignored. All the living beings are connected to one another with the common language of love. It spreads peace and harmony all around and promotes brotherhood. This is such a pious trait that everybody should have it. Hence, love is an essential part of our lives and it should always be promoted. Thank you, dear students. I hope you like the poem. Thank you and have a good day ahead.